Morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us on AMHQ Early. I'm meteorologist Jen Carfagno. So this huge storm that is throttling the Northwest today will have major implications for the eastern half of the nation by this weekend. We're talking strong storms, even severe weather, and then a major temperature crash. And we could be talking coming up right now. Let's go across the country with Anaridis. Good morning.
Good morning, Jen, and good morning to you at home. We begin with the flooding rain in Washington State. Take a look.
Midwest to the south to the northeast here has been spectacular. Now, this morning, though, as you maybe go out to check out that sunrise, we got an issue with freezing fog. State College, Altoona, Johnstown, we're keeping an eye on you, and Williamsport all in it this morning. State College and Penn State, you are right in the middle of that. Temperatures in the upper 20s, got a lot of fog in the area, so we are concerned about that this morning as Penn State wraps up its last week of classes before they go to 5. Weekend, right? It is Wednesday, it is hump day, and I think on Wednesday you do nothing else but think about your weekend plans, right? Well, we've got our big western system that will be affecting our weather today. This is the thing we got to watch here. This one is a doozy. We've had days and days of very heavy rain in the Northwest and very strong jet stream driving it. That moves along and pushes our system into the Southwest. We're going to see that evolve. Big area of low pressure developing and a front with it going to move up here through the plains into the Midwest. Brings the risk of thunderstorms and the chance for severe weather on Saturday. Storms and warm weather continuing in the Midwest on Sunday. Then a temperature change coming. And in finals, hard to believe. The semester is flying by, isn't it? All right, welcome back, everyone, to AMHQ Early. We are your travel headquarters, and we've got a look at road conditions. Anaridis, that freezing fog could be a real issue out there.
Yeah, especially over bridges and overpasses, which tend to freeze first, right? So if you're taking 81 down to Altoona, maybe into Baltimore or Washington, D.C., be aware that there are freezing fog advisories in some of the spots, and we've got dense fog also in North Carolina, 95, 85 if you're traveling from Raleigh to Fayetteville. We take a live look at Washington, D.C., where we don't have a dense fog advisory, but areas surrounding it in the suburbs, we've got a visibility patchy spots down to 1/4 mile according to the National Weather Service. The airports are looking good, Jen, though.
Let's take a look. Our jet stream continuing to run far north, keeping any cold air very far north up into Canada. We get these little blips in the jet stream, but everything is sort of so fast moving right now that nothing is really able to tap into the cold air up there and bring it down. So even in southern Canada, we've been dealing with warm temperatures above average readings and some records in some cases. Temperatures going anywhere from 15 to 20 degrees above normal. For us in Bismarck, temperatures nearly 60. Minneapolis, we're in the mid-40s. Chicago, we've got temperatures going into the mid-50s tomorrow. That is 20 degrees above average. We're feeling it everywhere across the area. Detroit and Cincinnati, Kansas City, 63 degrees. You're thinking baseball. I mean, this is the kind of weather we've got going. Got spring fever going on, and we've not even had our winter yet. So get ready for some changes. We will see them come by the end of the weekend. So for Minneapolis, this is how it plays out. So, and by the way, Minneapolis, our average high is 29 degrees for this time of year. So let's remember that. We got temperatures mid-40s, upper 30s. Is this starting to feel cold for you? 34 degrees? It's still above average, but it's a temperature change that we're going to get as we get you into the end of the week. All right, also some changes coming to us in the southern plains.
All right, you got 20 minutes before the top of the hour before you head out. Let us tell you what the travel conditions are like wherever you are living. And we say good morning to Richmond, Virginia, and that is pea soupy kind of fog. The commute off to a pretty good start for being so early in the morning.
Yes, folks are moving along despite the fog. Visibility is going to vary like it has the past couple of days, so just be ready for changing conditions.
So we're talking about Interstate 64 right through Richmond, and 95 if you're going into Baltimore or maybe Washington.
For golf courses, but not so great, you know, for folks who sell snowmobile equipment and gear. You look at this forecast, temperatures in the 50s, New York City, all the way through upstate New York, and you're not getting any snow. All right, but let's talk about who's going to get snow. The West. We look at our big western system. It's been so active out here. We're finally going to get a change in our jet stream by the weekend where we'll get a dip and get some colder air in place. That'll bring the snow levels down. We'll get snow in the Sierra. We'll get snow in the Rockies on Saturday. Get ready. Even Denver could get some snow, but certainly up in the mountains we'll be getting more, and we'll be watching for that. Balloon today, the weather balloons going up are measuring some really strong winds in the west at the jet stream level especially, and so that's going to be a big part of our big weather story.
And the warmth and where the cold is, because we are 2 weeks away from Christmas this Friday, and that just blows my mind.
There are some signs of cold air in the forecast. at the end of the month, but not in the near term. This week we have so much ridiculous warmth out there. Bismarck, North Dakota, Omaha, Nebraska, Rapid City, South Dakota, and Denver. The temperatures that we are forecasting for today are a lot like what you saw on October 19th, the 28th, the 12th for Rapid City, the 19th for Denver, all like the average highs that we would see back in October. So yes, this is not typical December weather. Now let's talk about these readings out there and how things are going to be changing. For the most part, our jet stream has just been so far north, and we've had little tiny buckles and little perturbations in the jet stream, but not enough to dislodge any of this cold air that's really stuck up high in Canada. So the cold air has not been budging. There's been nothing to move it along and to bring it down. And we've been in a pretty fast moving pattern, so the systems we get don't have time to sort of work in any of this cold air. Now we look at the temperature forecast, and there's a lot of red on our map. That's showing us where we have well above average temperatures, and we're talking anywhere from 15 to 20 degrees above average. When we dive down to the numbers, Minneapolis, our average high is actually colder than freezing right now, but we're not going to be anywhere close to that, even starting your day. And as we wrap up our afternoon, you're going up to 47 degrees. North Platte, 66, 67 in Dodge City. These are all more like temperatures you would see in September or October when you look at the averages. What about the Northeast? Same deal. We are running above average, well above average in New York City. We're 52, 57 in D.C. But some of the bigger departures back here across the lakes, Buffalo, 55 degrees. That is 15 degrees above average. And for tomorrow, we're going to see that trend continuing. Boston talking more like 60 than anything else here. So we're running anywhere from 10 to 15 degrees above average. You have not had to pull out your big winter coat. You're wearing a jacket for sure. It's cold in the morning, but you don't need the big puffy coat. Philadelphia, 65 degrees. We're going to tie a record on Saturday. If we get there, we'll come very close in Bridgeport and Pittsburgh. We'll come within a degree anyway, and we should break a new record in New York City at the JFK Airport reporting site on Saturday. So the heat continues, and I'm going to call it heat, continues into the weekend, at least for the east. All right, let's talk more about what's happening, though, in the west, Anaridis. It's a mess out here with rain and snow.
And all that eventually is going to trek east, right, and change those temperatures and that dry air. Let's take an early